Hello, my name is Prime, and welcome back to this episode of ATS Showcases, and today I'm going to be doing a delivery up here in northeastern Texas. So we're here in Longview, and we're going to head over to Fort Worth. So it's not a very long delivery, but I think it'll be a really neat one because we're going to be checking out a completely different area of the map. Because if you can tell from just the general scenery, barely even looks like the last two episodes, which is incredible to say that we're all within the same state. So let's get this Freightliner Cascadia started up and get on the road. Hopefully everyone's doing well. I certainly am. Hopefully you've been enjoying the kind of run of uploads here as I've been doing on the Texas DLC. First off, I must say once again, for those who haven't seen the first two videos I've done on the Texas DLC, this is an early access build. You may have noticed a little banner along the top. Keep in mind that if you see anything that's out of the ordinary, odds are, well, I shouldn't say odds are, it will be corrected at the time of the release. Now, I must say a huge thank you to SES Software for providing me with the Texas DLC as an early access. Truly incredible and honored to have the privilege, really, to be able to cover Texas as an early access gameplay. So huge thank you to them once again. I can't express my gratitude enough, and thank you to everyone who's been supporting the channel recently. And well, to be honest, from the beginning, it means a lot to me, and without you guys it wouldn't be possible. Now, what do we have here? I'm not gonna lie, when I was coming in I was a little confused what this was, and I think it's actually really cool. As far as I know, it's a security checkpoint. Yeah, it is. Start your security check. Let's go ahead and start that. It's taking a little bit. There must be checking through the fuel, and it looks like we're all good. We have passed. Well, that is very neat. It's kind of cool to see that, actually, at a kind of, well, really a depot area. That's actually very neat. I don't know if I've actually seen that yet in ATS, so that's very, very neat, and I do appreciate that a lot. So yeah, we're here in the Freightliner Cascadia. Decided to bring it back, and I've got my ownable tanker trailer, and we're hauling some aromatics up to Fort Worth. So I forgot to say that in the intro bit, what we were actually hauling. I mean, it's kind of a dead giveaway to some extent that, you know, it's some form of liquid, some form of flammable liquid. But yeah, aromatics all the way up to Fort Worth. I guess I shouldn't say all the way up, but overall pretty cool. Oh, look at what we got here. Some tanker trains, tanker cars, all that good stuff. Such a cool area, and I must say the contrast between the last two episodes are it's just out of the world here. It's just incredible. I've even lost my own words there. It's unbelievable. That's really what I'm trying to say. It's incredible to see how different of area this is. You could almost basically pass this off as more like Washington State or Oregon in the sense of how woodland it is versus the last two episodes, which have been more southern and eastern sides of the Texas DLC, where the state is generally dry. That's the best way to say it. Not a whole lot of vegetation. There is vegetation, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely, those areas are known more for its, well, less overgrowth areas. So that's pretty, it's pretty crazy to say that we're all within one DLC here, and it almost feels like completely different areas, which is, I mean, it is, but it's really cool to see how diverse the state is, and it's what really gives Texas a very unique characteristic compared to a lot of the other DLCs in ATS, are just the different opportunities you have. You honestly, in Texas, judging by the map, you could pretty much roll with just one area of the Texas DLC if you wanted to be more located along, for example, the northern boundary of the state. You could very well operate a lot of different cargoes just along the northern kind of corridor, and it's just the way it is. You can, of course, run into some of the other states. That's kind of a given, to be honest. Oh, good, we got the advanced green for the turning left. That's always good. Let's swing this trailer out and around here. It's a 53-footer today, so it's definitely a long boy in terms of tanker trailers. 4 compartments, obviously top of the line. Wouldn't be an ATS showcase here on Prime Simulation without the absolute best, as I'm driving a kind of more mid-tier Freightliner Cascadia, but we'll move on from that. Texas, look at this area. I mean, it's kind of just a common theme within these last episodes. Kind of just lost for words. I know some of you would probably rather me be lost for words more often when doing these showcases, but it's honestly true. Texas looks truly incredible. these areas, I mean, just look at this. Kind of a marshy swamp area. These are the details that make the DLC so cool, and I'd love to do a longer haul across the state and just see those transition phases. And we may actually get a slight glimpse of this. I'm not quite sure. I've never actually been to the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So obviously we're heading there virtually now, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it changes, because I do know the farther east you go, the more trees you get. That's kind of what I got from the blog posts and what I can kind of tell from right now. So as we are heading west, it's going to be interesting to see if that transition point does start to kick in, or if we're just going to see the fringes of it when we get around the Fort Worth area, which odds are we probably will. This area definitely is hilly as well, so you got lots of elevation changes, obviously lots of green places, lots of settlements as well. Wide open areas. That's the biggest thing here in Texas. I wanted to try and get crude oil. I'm not gonna lie. I wanted to see if I could get some oil and be really Texan. But I decided, you know what? This delivery suited, I think, what I wanted really quite well. Obviously, depending on where you are, you'll get some more options for that. I actually do believe, I want to say more central and southern, maybe even eastern. To be honest, all over, but I'm pretty sure more like southern and eastern you get more oil. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe that's kind of more the areas for that, more than here, really, more than on the eastern side. I'm probably wrong, but there's definitely quite a few flammable liquid deliveries all over Texas. I actually looked in the company browser, and honestly, with the introduction of the Texas DLC, I've been using the company browser that came in was 1.46, plentiful throughout stuff. But I'm not gonna lie, the company browser may be one of the greatest things, especially when I use it all the time in betas. But here, or 1.45, it came in anywhere not too long ago. Point is, with Texas DLC and how vast the state is, having the ability to check, especially for doing these first look videos, being able to see what cargo types are available in the different towns, it's a game changer. That's what's been able to kind of help me around some of the areas. Oh good, we can actually bypass the way station for once. For those who didn't see my first look video, I got hit twice with the way stations, if not 3 times, I believe just twice. So that was a really fun adventure. It was actually a really great episode. Second one with the heavy haul, really interesting area. So obviously we've moved from the southern area to the eastern area where I did, or sorry, western area, western area, which I did in the heavy haul video. And now we are here, slamming on the brakes because we've got someone exiting the way station into traffic and they're going very slow. How rude. Well, they are a truck. We'll give them grace. They are one of our kind. But no, we're kind of going around the 3 different areas. Well, 3 kind of points of the state. Obviously, we have to go kind of right into the heart then next. But then from there, I'm completely open to suggestions. Of course, I've got other plans as well, so don't worry about that. I'm not going to just kind of leave it out to dry here on the Texas DLC. I'll be far from that. But once we get kind of the main areas down, it really does give you a good idea about what kind of areas do you like of the DLC, and just show off the absolute beauty of this DLC. And we can already kind of see we're starting to hit a bit of a transition where, although it's still a lot of trees, we're not as thick. It's not as thick, thickly dense as it was over where we were by Longview. So that's very interesting, just to see how it kind of thins out as we go. And that's kind of the stuff I like to see on these journeys, and it makes it so realistic. As you go, the geography changes, and just the way of the land is. And obviously we get a little bit more flat even already. The highway cuts through a lot. I'm not going to lie about that. They do, landscape the ground to their needs, because we are kind of sunken compared to some of the other areas. But overall, it is starting to flatten out a bit more and less trees, at least from my initial observations. But no, it's a really, really neat area to be hauling through. And I'm loving the Texas DLC so far. If you can't tell, I am just over the moon and so happy to be able to be covering it. First of all, early access, and I know a lot of you are counting down the days till November 15th to be able to pick this up for yourselves. It's honestly so worth it. Oh good, we've discovered Dallas. That's always good. I'm plucking my way through the Lone Star State achievement. I believe I'm at 9 now. Not gonna lie, I've unlocked a few towns that I haven't actually driven through, just because of me trying to find jobs and explore, or not necessarily explore, but try and decide where I'm actually gonna go for deliveries. Kind of fine-tuning my selections. So I have discovered a bit more in this ATS showcase save than I would kind of naturally by doing these videos, or the delivery, sorry. But that's all. That it doesn't matter. This isn't necessarily a realistic save anyways. If you've been around and watched plenty of my ATS showcase series, you more than know my ability to drive in this series, and it's always just kind of fun to try new things and explore, and you don't really care if you absolutely land-base the truck and trailer into something that you probably shouldn't be driving it into, also known as a invisible barrier. That happens more often than I will like to admit, especially since I have them off because I don't like seeing them, but yet my navigation skills with the GPS are subpar, so I guess it's a bit of a trade-off now, isn't it? You know, I can only say so much about Texas. Everyone's going to have their own opinions on what they think of the DLC. Honestly, as of recording this video, I still don't know what the price will be for the DLC, and I could potentially see that being a... Oh good, we've discovered Fort Worth as well. I could see that being a bit of a determining or a bit of a caveat for people. I think overall the DLC will kind of overhaul a lot of thoughts about, you know, is it worth it for the price? Because I'm going to assume SES Software has always been very generous, to be honest, with their pricing in terms of, you know, not necessarily spending an arm and a leg for something that's truly high quality, and we do get a decent amount. With Texas, because of the sheer size, I wouldn't be surprised if it's on a higher end of a scale for DLC pricing, but I honestly do think it's worth it. You get 29 new cities as far as I'm aware. Plenty of new cargo types, of course, that are some exclusive to Texas and some obviously that integrate with other states. Overall, it is just an incredible area. I can't say it enough. It probably is getting annoying at this point with some of these videos, but just these areas, urban areas, rural areas, the dirt roads. I mean, I haven't even gone on Route 66 yet, as far as I'm aware, unless if I managed to do it without knowing. It's truly incredible. It's a wonderful area. Plenty of stuff to see. Some of you may think that I'm being paid by SES Software to do that. I'm honestly not. Even though I've been graciously provided the DLC, I'm going to give my honest thoughts. That's what they want to see. I'm not going to lie to you guys. That's just not who I am. I'm going to be brutally honest at times, and I have been in the past with, you know, some things saying, you know, it's maybe not my most favorite thing, but it's not the worst in the world either. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. It's just great. I can't deny it. You've got a good combination of interstates. You've got lots of kind of back roads as well. So depending on what you do prefer, you can snake your way through some of the less populous areas if you really want to. And no one's going to argue with you. You're definitely going to get to your destination. You may still have to take some highways, but it's definitely going to be a lot less than some states in ATS, I'll tell you that much. Texas does have a really nice variety of areas. Plenty of jobs just about everywhere. I haven't had issues really with finding a job type, or finding the job type that I have, for example, my trailer or what I want. It's just all the options, trying to decide which one will fit what I actually want. That's the biggest struggle I have right now, and it's probably not going to change, to be honest with you. But that's a good problem in my view to have. Too many options too many things to try and decide between. And honestly, I'd rather have that than not enough. Something I have noticed is that there are plenty of long hauls moving around if you want those higher paying jobs. Take more time, but man alive, do they pay well. There are some that go directly across the map, basically kitty corner to each other. They are very, very long deliveries. Take you a long time, probably even a long time in real life as well to do, just because of how far they are and the scaling of the game. But it's so many there's so many options. There's just no way to say it. With the amount of DLCs we now have and the amount of map expansions, if you do happen to own all the map expansions, you've got more than enough content to be driving around right now, and it only will continue to grow. I can't imagine when we actually get even more DLCs in the near future, or just in the future. It's going to be insane trying to decide an area to drive in. From my perspective, it will be great. Because as we continue to grow here on the channel, and also in the world of ATS and ATS2 for that matter, honestly, it's going to be a point where you really do just kind of choose a general area and you kind of stick with it, or you just keep hop skipping it around. For me, it will be honestly a bit of both, probably. I already kind of do it, kind of stick to its general areas right now, but that's only because of the high quality areas. I'd be all over the place in the older areas if they were similar to what the newer DLCs are. And of course, they're being all revamped and arguably becoming even higher quality compared to even some of the other DLCs. But yeah, it's just truly incredible. Swinging gate, that's kind of a new one. I'll take that. Another security checkpoint. I think we're going to have a few of these within the DLC, and I like that they have different options. I'm going to imagine this is for convoy multiplayer. So then if you're all going to the same area, you can all get the security check at the same time, or at least quite a few of you. That's actually very neat. Now I think we have to park over in this general direction. We got to come up here and around. I'm going to be honest, don't quite know exactly where I'm parking. I think I'm parking down maybe in this general area. Possibly. I'm not quite sure. What's happening? Oh, yes. We're back behind the building in around the airport area-ish. Yes, so we got to park down in here. Oh, that's an easy reverse. I'll take that any day. I'll take that any day. I don't know why they need this stuff here, just in liquid form at the receiving bay, but you know what? To each their own. Just trying to decide what I'm doing with my camera work. To each their own. I'm not going to argue with them. I'll happily dump the flammable material all over the loading dock if they really want it. I mean, I'm sure there'd be a hose that they just stick out the door, but, you know, it's... not gonna lie, it's a little odd. I didn't really get very straight, but they're gonna accept it, but I'm gonna be too picky with it. I'm gonna just finesse it a little bit just to see if I can straighten it up a bit. I don't care about perfect, but if we can just get it a little bit closer like that, I think I'll be a lot happier. So let's go ahead and hop outside here, and thank you guys so much for watching. Another Texas DLC video down. It's truly incredible. I've said it plenty of times in this video. You're going to keep hearing me say it for probably some time. The Texas DLC truly is incredible. I would highly recommend it. I'm not just saying that just for promotional sakes. I do truly mean it. It's an amazing DLC, and honestly, whatever the cost is, if it's obviously within your means, I definitely would recommend you doing it. It opens up so many new opportunities, especially if you do have the DLCs leading up. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend it if you don't have, you know, New Mexico. If you don't have that expansion, that may not really work well for you. I happen to have all the map DLCs. I'm very fortunate in that matter. But so it gives me a lot of options. But overall, Texas has so many options in its own that you could really just run with the base game in New Mexico and Texas, and you'd have plenty of deliveries. And you'd see a pretty dramatic jump in quality as well. So to each their own. I just truly recommend the Texas DLC. It's a phenomenal addition to American Truck Simulator. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.